him.
I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Smack 'em a gob, it's time for the only news that matters. And a lot of fans have been debating the firing of Blaze Bayley from Iron Maiden. I didn't know that. Some believe it was the right move. Yeah, as far as I remember, everybody felt that. And some believe that he was treated unfairly by the band. I don't remember ever hearing anybody say that. Anyway, speaking of classic rock, band leader Steve Harris reflects on the two albums Maiden recorded with Bayley. 1995's The X Factor and 1998's Virtual 11. Steve says, honestly, I thought some of the songs on those albums were among the best I've ever written. But those songs were quite dark, probably because of where I was mentally at the time, without even realizing it. Despite Blaze Bayley's efforts, he just didn't have Bruce Dickinson's vocal range or stage performance. To make things worse, Iron Maiden wasn't too popular in that period. Alternative music was taken over, and Harris enjoyed the difficulties. He said, "We were up against it, fighting for our lives, being the underdogs again. I enjoyed the challenge." Sadly, things had to change. In January of 1990, Harris fired Bayley, and it wasn't easy for him to make this decision. He said, "That's the worst side of being in a band. It's not something I feel comfortable with. Never have done, never will. But you got to do what's right for the band." Harris was ready to take Iron Maiden into a new stage of its existence, which meant the return of Bruce Dickinson and Adrian Smith. However, Harris had doubts, and was it the right call? He said, I was unsure about it for a while. I just wanted to make sure that we were coming back for the right reasons, so you just take it a bit. You just take it bit by bit. His doubts were wiped away on the release of 2000's Brave New World. While Harris dislikes calling it a comeback album, it definitely worked that way. We made a very strong album, went out on tour, played Rock in Rio and all kinds of stuff. And I said, this is great. And I knew then that we could just carry on as long as we want. Yep, because you got Bruce back. With Bruce Dickinson in the band, there'll always be, people that'll want to see it. And it doesn't matter how bad the future albums are. And, in my opinion, man, there's albums Maiden did that I think are worse than the Blaze Bayley albums. But, you got Bruce Dickinson singing on the album, so it's all good. They even did that one tour, Matter of Life and Death, where they played the whole damn album. And by all accounts, everybody was complaining about it, but guess what? People still went. You think if Blaze was playing that show, they'd be playing those arenas? Not in America, man. I saw Iron Maiden with Blaze Bayley on the X Factor tour. And it was a place that I headlined. My band headlined. The Revolution in Fort Lauderdale. And, it's like a big club. Not even that big. It's got 2 stories, but I remember when Maiden played there, the upper story was completely empty. Down was kind of packed, and I was all the way up front, packed in, general admission. And Blaze was unbelievably great. I wasn't feeling the album, but I went anyway because it's Iron Maiden. And I was floored with how good Blaze Bayley was live. Way better than on the record. And I thought that was an outstanding show. That was the best Maiden show I saw since the Power Slave tour. I'm telling you, all the tours I saw, Somewhere in Time, Seven Sun, Fear the Dark. Yeah, that one album, No Prayer for the Dying, was canceled. And they said it had to do with Bruce's voice, but I think later on they just said they had to cancel a bunch of shows because of bad ticket sales. And then when they came back for Fear the Dark, it was the smaller Sunrise Musical Theater, which is like half the size of an arena, and then X Factor to a club. But they were amazing. It was such a great high energy show, and such a little stage, and Steve Harris right up front, man. That was badass. That was a badass show. And yeah, it sucks that they had to fire Blaze. But I gotta tell you, man, I thought Blaze did better in his solo material. Better songs, better vocal performances. But I can't take away how good he was live. He was amazing live. But it's obvious he was fired because Bruce Dickinson was ready to come back. And Steve Harris was really pissed at Bruce for first leaving after Fear the Dark. He didn't like Bruce too much, man, for him abandoning him. Bruce tried to do his solo career stuff and it wasn't working, and then he said, F this, after Skunk Works, let me do a metal album. And he did 2 amazing albums, Accident of Birth, Chemical Wedding, that I would put above everything Maiden's done since Power Slave. But, it's not Iron Maiden, it's Bruce Dickinson solo. Even with Adrian Smith, it's just, they were playing little clubs, man. They didn't have the Iron Maiden name. And then with the band that did have the Iron Maiden name was playing small places as well. They both needed each other. And that's what happened. Bruce was ready to come back. And they brought him back. And I read a recent interview with Janick Gers, wanted to leave Iron Maiden when they were bringing Bruce and Adrian back. And the band convinced him to stay. And I'm like, man, why is Janick Gers, still in the band now that they brought back the classic, classic Peace of Mind Power Slave lineup? I don't know, man. The only thing I can really think of is that maybe Janick Gers has pictures of Steve Harris with farm animals. I don't know, man. Why is he still there? When I saw Iron Maiden the last time, Janick Gers is doing his little ballerina dancing, that I literally just covered one eye and watched the Peace of Mind lineup play. I just couldn't stand watching him. I don't like his prancing, man, but, I have a friend of mine that I was telling this to, and he's like, what are you talking about? He's rocking out, man. He's up there rocking out. And then there's people out there that look at that and think, hey, he's rocking out, To me, I think he's geeking out. I think he's having an epileptic fit, It's annoying watching him for me, but some other people can handle watching Janick Gers, can handle watching Gary Sharon live. It's hard for me to watch these weird fucking stage moves these two do. But people like it, so whatever. But anyway, there you go. Steve Harris, he feels guilty for firing Blaze. I wonder if he felt guilty firing Dennis Stratton, Clive Burr, and Paul Di'Anno? Probably. I don't know. Steve Harris seems like a good dude. No matter how much I think about his music and the albums I don't like, there's many I do love, and I think he's a metal icon. Steve Harris. I don't care what he drags Iron Maiden through. He'll always be Steve Harris from Iron Maiden. And I totally appreciate him, man. And I appreciate everybody else. Dave Murray, my favorite. guitar player in Iron Maiden. That solo he does on the song Killers, it's my favorite Iron Maiden solo. But, you know, whatever. This is a guilt trip that Steve Harris laid on himself, and what do you all think? Y'all think that, is there anybody out there that thinks that, hey man, it was unfair what they did at Blaze? Because I don't remember that happening back in the day. That people were excited to have Bruce back, is how I remember it. But anyway, thank you so much for watching The Only News That Matters. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and ring that little notification bell, and like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty. Listen to Iron Maiden. Up the irons and smack 'em a gob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.